It is Friday, and here at Crepuscular Academy, the work of the week is done. The classrooms are dark and empty and mostly silent. The more dangerous textbooks have been locked away. So why don't you join us in my study as we delve once more into Dr. Longshadow's miscellany of the uncanny. Good evening. My name is Dr. James Archipelago Longshadow, and it is my honor to be the headmaster of Crepuscular Academy. It is once again a pleasure to invite you to share what has become a tradition here at the Academy. As we do every week, my students and I have gathered to partake in some exquisitely delicious hot chocolate. The biscuit of the week, which I am led to believe on this occasion is the ginger snap. And of course, a story. Before we move on to our story, however, I thought that those of you who are joining us through the medium of the internet might appreciate a little more information about dear old Crepuscular Academy. It is an incredibly old institution. The exact year of its establishment has been lost in time. However, I dare say that I wouldn't be far off in supposing that it has existed in one form or another for more than 500 years. Now, although not quite that old, my own involvement in the Academy dates back to my birth. Allow me to elucidate. My father was the headmaster here before me, and as such, I resided and was schooled at the Academy. Indeed, my grandfather was also the headmaster before my father. One might say that my family have been casting long shadows on the Academy for years. However, that would be an unforgivable pun, and so one will refrain from making it. The Academy's grounds usually cover approximately 15 acres of land. I say usually, as we enjoy a somewhat indecisive topography, making it difficult to accurately assay the boundaries. Many attempts have been made, all have failed. As a matter of fact, one expedition, mounted in 1846, completely disappeared, with all members missing, presumed lost. Captain William Nevertson, an old boy of the school, and a famed Arctic explorer, volunteered to lead a team into a new forest that had appeared overnight behind the cricket pavilion. 6 men walked into the trees on a bright summer's day, full of optimism, jokes, and good cheer. None emerged. The next morning the forest was gone. Although troublesome, our vacillating landscape is undeniably beautiful. However, we have not congregated to listen to me wax lyrical upon the charms of the school, and the time has come to share tonight's tale from Dr. Longshadow's miscellany of the uncanny. 2 boys stand in a haunted house. You are, I am sure, aware of the kind of place to which I refer. There is at least one in every town. A place neither loved nor hated, an invisible thing, passed over by time, left to slowly fade away, a forgotten place. Forgotten by most, that is. For the children remember, and the children see. If there is any life left in these discarded husks, these landlocked shipwrecks, it is in the stories that grow around them. You have probably heard them. Tales of dark deeds and tragic events from so many years ago that those who would have been alive when they happened and could vouch for the veracity of them, or otherwise, are now safely dead. These stories are passed around by the young, who exaggerate them with each gleeful retelling, adding detail upon detail, layer upon layer, until the origins of the story, the actual events, if they ever happened at all, are unrecognizable. As the stories grow, so grows the notoriety of the house, and the people who never lived there. Characters are taken from other half-remembered stories that have been passed down over the years, shared by firelight and candles, and then by gas and electric. They are transplanted and allowed to perform upon the derelict stage of the house. In this way, monsters are created. These, then, are the places we are told to avoid. Something bad will happen, they say, just like what happened to that kid, what's-his-face cousin. He went in there and he saw something and went mad and his hair turned white. Or perhaps they called him the Rag and Bone Man, 'cause all they ever found of the missing kids was... So yes, do cross the street. And don't even linger in the chill shadow of the house, and never ever go inside, lest you arouse the notice of the monsters. However, wherever there are monsters, there are also heroes. It is the first day of summer. Far above, a cathedral-tall sky stretches from blue to black, and the sun shines down on a world full of no school, hard-baked ground to run across, and the best friends you will ever have, and of course, freedom. Today belongs to the young, and they know it. They can feel the earth turn beneath them with each step, and today will last forever. Today is a day for heroes. And so it is that 4 young knights, casting around for something to do on this perfect day, came up with the idea to test their courage by venturing into that house. And so here we are, with 2 boys standing in a haunted house. Neither speaks. Each breath taken is measured and drawn in slowly, each footstep considered and executed with painful carefulness. To have got even this far, to stand in the hallway, albeit bathed in sunlight, has taken considerable courage, but merely standing in the hallway is not the dare. The dark-haired boy, the taller of the 2, directs his attention upwards to the staircase stretching up ahead of him. His companion, a pale, red-haired fellow, stands behind him and follows his gaze. They both know what they are here to do. The challenge has been set. Go to the room at the back of the house and wave from the window. A simple task. The landing at the top of the staircase stretches off into the distance. Each step a creak waiting to happen, each creak a signal to someone or something. The taller boy takes the first step and then silently curses his treacherous imagination as it shows the withered hand and then the head that will appear around the corner as he reaches the halfway point. He manages to dispel this image, only to have it replaced with the scenario of making it to the top, only to see the toes of a pair of black shoes or the hem of an old-fashioned dress poking from around the same corner, and somehow the second image is worse. He shakes his head, trying to clear the pictures, and without turning around, steps up and starts to climb. The other boy follows him, no doubt boasted by the bravery of his companion. Step by step, tread by tread, they climb, one after the other. Somehow, through patience usually alien to boys his age, the tall one manages to avoid most of the noisy steps. The smaller boy makes no sound at all. They reach the landing and see their goal. This floor has 2 bedrooms at each end of a long hallway, and a bathroom sitting halfway between the 2. It is this bathroom that lies between the boys and the window where they must signal success to those waiting below. That door, thinks the tall boy, that bathroom door is the kind of door that will slowly open when I get close enough to it. He takes a step, and then another, all the time watching the door as if it is a sleeping guard dog. As he draws level with it, he involuntarily presses up against the opposite wall. Imagine, his mind whispers, imagine something rising slowly from the black water that fills the age-stained bath that can just be glimpsed through the crack of the door. Imagine it gurgling and shuffling towards you, arms hungrily outstretched. Imagine the smell. Imagine the eyes. But he is so close to the window. He decides to run. He races for the open bedroom door and the window, praying that his friends are looking and that they will see him. The other boy waits in the hallway. This is not his moment. He is happy to defer to the taller boy, to let him seize this moment of glory. And so the dark-haired boy lurches to the window where, sure enough, he can see his 3 friends looking up into the house. He waves, and they wave back. And then he runs. By the gods, how he runs! He blows past the red-haired boy and hurls himself down the stairs and out of the house, all the time being chased by the worst things his imagination can conjure up. He does not look back, not once. He runs, and he runs, and he runs, and then he is out and back in the light and the air with his friends. There are high fives and pats on backs, and the 4 boys wander off to find the next adventure on this endless summer day. Behind them, from the window in the house where he has always been, and always will be, a pale, red-haired boy watches them until they are gone. I hope you enjoyed our story this week. If you did, please feel free to leave a review on whatever podcasting service you tune into. I do so hope you will join us again next week, where I shall divulge some more information about Crepuscular Academy, and of course, share another tale from Dr. Longshadow's Miscellany of the Uncanny. Until then, good night.